Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Sydney. I'm a perinatal athletic therapist and postnatal fitness specialist. And today we're going to talk about dead bugs. It's that exercise where you're laying on your back and you're sending your arms and legs straight at different times. I'll insert a little video here so you can see. Today I'm going to show you guys how to progress up to a dead bug, starting at basics and breathing. We are going to slowly build on each exercise so that your endpoint is a dead bug, the exercise with your arms fully extended and your legs fully extended. I'm just going to put a big old disclaimer right here just to tell you that this is not to be in place of specific individualized medical advice. If you are experiencing any symptoms, discomforts, pains, anything of the sort, specifically in your pelvic floor while we're doing these exercises, it's important for you to book in with a pelvic floor or perinatal specialized physical, athletic, or orthopedic therapist. So we're going to progress each exercise just a little bit every time. And because you are seeing this through a video, please don't progress to the next exercise until you have the first one down really well. And don't do them all the same day if you've never done them before. You're going to end up very sore, potentially pulling a muscle, etc., etc. Please be very careful while you're doing these exercises. You can try one at a time to see how far you can get to. If you can't make it to the end exercise, that's okay. That's what the progressions are for. You can build up to it. Okay, housekeeping is done. Let's jump into the exercises. So, very first exercise is just breathing. We're going to talk about diaphragmatic breathing today, not belly breathing where your lower belly expands on the inhale. We're going to breathe wide into our ribs. So put your hands at the side of your ribs here. You can either stand or you can sit somewhere where you can sit up nice and straight. Put your hands on your outer ribs, and what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath into your hands. This might take you a couple minutes to get if you've never done it before. So if it's a little bit tough for you at first, don't worry about it. So hands at the ribs, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. So what we're looking for here is we don't want the majority of the breath to be in the chest, and we don't want the majority of the breath to be in the lower abdomen. We want it to be somewhere in the middle. So what we don't want is this. We don't want this. Somewhere in between there. So nice wide breath. And really slow down your breathing. That should help you as well. Okay, so now we've talked about breathing, we're going to build on it. So here we need to talk about core activations and how to do them properly and in a way that's safe for our pelvic floor. So if you have watched my pelvic floor awareness video, great, because you know exactly what that feeling is. If you haven't, head back to it and watch that video first and then come on back. When we talk about core activations, or when I talk about core activations, I am never talking about that core bracing as if someone's gonna punch you in the stomach, because watch what happens when I do that. That noise typically comes along with it as well. And it's very, very difficult to breathe when we activate our core that way. So instead of only bracing the upper abdominals, what we're going to do instead is activate our transverse abdominis muscle. I'll put a picture right here for you. Transverse abdominis is a muscle that wraps from our spine all the way around to the center of our abdomen, and it actually cinches our core and our waist like this, but the entire way around. It makes it nice and stable from our back to our stomach, from our ribs to our pelvis. So everything is nice and connected there when we activate it. In order to activate transverse abdominis, which is our deepest core muscle, so when people talk about working the deep core, activating the deep core, that's what they're talking about, is transverse abdominis. What we want to do is take that nice wide breath in, and when we exhale, think about drawing your ribs down to your pelvis and pulling your belly button in and slightly up, just slightly. It's not a really big activation. It's a very minute activation. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're gonna take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, you're gonna draw the belly button in and slightly up. That's a core activation. I'm doing it right now. You should always be able to talk while you're activating your core. You should always be able to breathe while you're activating your core. It might be a little bit harder for you right now if you're just learning, but I'll show you from the side what it looks like. So, nice deep breath in. Exhale, belly button in and slightly up. That's a core activation right there. So, try that out first. See how that works for you. If you're having a hard time, don't fret. It takes some people a little bit to get it, but then we're gonna move on to the next step. Once we have the core activations down, we want to practice activating them in different positions. So standing, seated, lying down. Lying down is probably gonna be easiest for you if you're just learning how to do it. So don't fret if you're having a hard time. Try it in different positions and see which ones you can get to be able to feel your deep core. If you'd like to actually feel it activating, you're gonna go to your lowest rib right here, and you're actually going to just push your hands straight in. Just like this, push your hands straight in, do the core activation, and you should feel a little bit of a tightening happening right beside your hands. All right, how are we feeling? Are we ready to move on to the next step? If you're not quite ready yet and you're still having a hard time with the core activations, do them a couple times a day, 1 or 2, maybe up to 5 at a time. If you're having a hard time, don't worry. It takes some people a little bit to get there, but work on it every day and then come back to this video when you're ready to progress. Once we have the core activations down, we're gonna try them on our back, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of movement in. So lie down on your back with your knees bent. Okay, try a couple core activations here, see how they feel for you, and then come back. Okay, so once we're lying on our back, when we feel good about how our core activations are, when we're on our back in this position, we're gonna add a little bit of movement in. So, take a nice, deep, wide breath. Exhale, you're gonna draw that belly button in and activate your core. Then we're gonna hold it and take another deep breath in. Exhale, and you're gonna lift one leg. Inhale, keep holding it though. Exhale and drop that leg. You'll notice that I always move on exhale. That's the easiest way to manage our intra-abdominal pressure. If you have a hard time continuously holding it, when you get your leg up, pause for a moment, reset, hold it, inhale, and back down. Then you can try the other leg. Once that one feels good, we're going to progress it a little bit to bringing both legs up at the same time, and I'll give you a couple different progressions to do here as well. So back to the same position, and then we're gonna progress it. One progression that you can do while you're here, if you don't feel that you're able to go to the next step, but you want a little bit more difficulty, once you have that leg up, you can take multiple breaths. You can keep the leg up while you activate and maybe hold for 3 or 4 breaths and then put it back down. So that is one progression that you can add in there as well. Progression is bringing one leg up at a time, but they will both be up for a short period of time, and then one down and then the other one down. So I'll walk you through it. So nice deep breath in. Exhale, activate. Hold it. Inhale. Exhale, one leg up. Inhale. Exhale, next leg up. If you need to reset here, feel free. If not, we're going to continue to hold it and take another deep breath in. Exhale, one leg down. Another deep breath in. Exhale, second leg down. Okay, Now that we've got that down, we're going to progress it again. I know, there's so many progressions to think about. So, we're going to start with our legs up this time, and we're just gonna tap our heels instead of lifting our legs up. I'll walk you through it. Let's go back on our back. This time, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with both legs up. We're gonna take that deep breath in and activate the core. Hold it. Inhale. Exhale, and you're just gonna tap one of your heels on the ground. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna tap the other one. What we don't want here is a rocking forward of the pelvis that happens as we tap our heels. Do you see that space that's underneath there? We don't want this rocking of the pelvis. So we're going to reset. Pelvis needs to stay nice and stable in neutral. Activate. And tap. Okay, great job. So now that you've got to this point, we can begin to progress closer to an actual dead bug. At this point, you're going to have to figure out what you feel comfortable with and what you feel like the capabilities of your own body are. Do you feel like you're rocking your pelvis? Do you feel really unstable? Do your stomach muscles kind of flutter a little bit, or are they really, really shaky? If you have any of those kind of symptoms, you may need to just stay at this stage for a little bit and then progress as you feel you're able to, but there's no harm in trying once or twice just to see if you're able to progress to the next step. For our last two progressions, we're gonna go back on our back, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through both of them at the same time. For this next progression, we're gonna actually add our arm movements in as well. So you're gonna start with your arms up and your legs up. So if we were to flip you around and have your knees and hands on the ground, this would be kind of a tabletop position. So we want to activate the core here. Once we have the core activated, we're going to do those heel taps, but we're going to add in arm movements. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Again, make sure that that rocking of your pelvis isn't happening. And if you would like to add just a little bit more into the shoulders, you can feel free to activate them into the ground. Okay, I feel like you're ready for a full dead bug now. So, same tabletop position. We're gonna activate the core. Hold it. Inhale. On our exhale, we're gonna extend both your arm and your leg, but make sure they're opposites. And back up. If you need to reactivate in this position, feel free. Inhale. Exhale, activate. Inhale. Exhale, extend. We just worked all the way up to a full dead bug. You should be super, super proud of yourself if you were able to make it all the way up to the full dead bug. If you can't make it to the full dead bug, that's okay. Go back to the step that you feel the most comfortable at or that you feel you can do the best, and slowly work your way up to the full dead bug. There is no shame or no harm in regressing yourself to a point that your form is strong and your core is stable, and then slowly build yourself back up again. Join the video? Do you want to join the video? Well, I can't demonstrate with you right here with your bum in the way. Hey? Ouch.